If I didn't feel nervous before a game, there's something wrong.
So I can always say I've had dinner or lunch with Miss World. So we're all right. I think that was a 2-day party bender, wasn't it, really?
It's like being a fan.
Yeah.
You know what you said? I remember about you.
Careful what you're saying here, by the way. I'm Nicky Butt.
And I'm Paul Scholes.
This is our new show
where we take you inside the greatest era.
Under the greatest manager.
At the best club in the world.
Come with us inside the dressing rooms and onto the pitch. I think I was the only person in Premier League history to score a goal and run off and the camera go on Eric. The camera go on Eric.
As we tell you all about our teammates and the rivalries. I'm pretty sure that was a game where Robbie Fowler scored a goal and not Gary off the ball.
I mean, Nev, what's he doing? I mean, we know Rob, he's a great lad, unbelievable player, but Nev Scott, just what's Nev doing? I mean, he just fell down like
himself in that wrong position.
Fell down like an 82-year-old on his Zimmer frame.
This is football's greatest eras.
Okay, Scholes, our first podcast. Why are we doing this?
Just to bring back some memories, I think. I think there's a lot of stuff out there that people won't know, and hopefully we can give a bit of an insight into things that happen behind closed doors.
Yeah, for me, it's a bit like a lot's been said, obviously, over the years about all our journey with the together. We've got Man United and stuff, but I just think a lot of it, you think that didn't happen, that did happen. I think I'd like to get my little bit out, and hopefully the people that are listening would like it.
Yeah, you hear all kinds of bullshit
false stories, yeah.
False stories.
Not really happening.
Yeah, that didn't really happen. So hopefully we can bring a bit of fact to it.
Yeah,
if we remember, that is. Long time ago.
Well, that's obviously the 99 one, so I think obviously that's the one everyone wants to talk about and listen about, so we'll start with that one. What's your memory of that? Because literally for me, mine was totally different to what yours was of that game. Obviously you were suspended, it was a nightmare for you and for Keeney, but so we've probably got different memories, but the first thing I remember about it all was actually when we finally got there and all the hype calmed down and it was game time, if you like, and we're getting onto that plane, the Concorde, which was an iconic thing, massive thing for two lads, one from Gorton and one from Middleton, to go on Concorde. I mean, it's like something you'd never dream of. I thought it was actually quite shit, to be honest with you. Yeah. The luxury side of it, it was great to get there or anywhere you want to go quick, but I don't think it was that luxurious. So
I think it was just good
it's iconic, innit?
Yeah, I think it was just good to say you've been on Concorde. I think the pictures from it as well. Do you have pictures on the steps or something?
Yeah, with the flags out the window. The flag out.
Yeah.
But no, it was a nice way to get there. And then obviously we arrived there. And then pretty much knowing what we was all like as lads, we did the same thing all the time. We had we get to the hotel, we check in. I'd probably room with you, I would imagine. Can't remember if it was room with you or not.
I can't remember because I weren't involved.
Oh, no, you wouldn't have been because you was on the party scene with Keeney, weren't you?
No, I wasn't.
You was just out.
I might have been with Roy, maybe.
Yeah, I think you was.
Was we not in single rooms then?
I can't remember. I don't think we was in single rooms that time, was we?
I think for the final, we always went 2 days before as well, didn't we?
Yeah.
Whereas a normal European game would have been night before, train the ground.
Yeah, so I remember going to training like we normally do all the time. In the after day before the game, we'd have an hour on the pitch, and you realise it's a massive game. I realised it was a massive game then. When if I didn't realise it anyway, was the press, the thousands of press watching us train. But the new camp's just an iconic stadium. It's old, crumbling, but proper iconic stadium in a bowl. And you realise that it's a massive game. And that's when I realised that it's a big one, especially for me, because obviously it was a weird one for me because you're my best mate, Keeney's a best mates, and you're both suspended. And obviously I was playing in midfield instead of used to. And how do you feel about that? No, on the day watching them, do you feel crap or do you think?
It just felt, did you know what? I'd probably had 2 or 3 weeks to get ready for it anyway, so it didn't really, not say it didn't matter. I knew, do you know what I mean? Whether Roy was just saying, I don't know, but I don't know about I always like going to the ground the night before.
Yeah.
And like you say, being an iconic ground, it was a bit iconic for us. I don't know if you remember the years and years before when we used to play Barcelona Champions League, and I think even Bobby Charlton trained with us one night. Remember?
Yeah.
Do you remember Mick Hucknall training with us as well?
That was at Barcelona, wasn't it? That's what we got beat. Was it got beat 4-1 that night?
Yeah, we got beat 4-1. And Mick Hucknall trained with us the night before.
Mick Hucknall should have played actually because he was all crap.
I don't remember him being that good. Do you?
He was awful, if I'm honest with you.
He didn't look like a footballer.
He didn't look like a footballer, no. He had no coordination.
Could sing though.
Could sing really well, like, to be fair. I think he should stick to that. But no, I remember it. But I remember going, McCutnell, like in the box with us. And then he started giving the ball away. I remember Keane giving him a bollocking because he gave the ball away. So Keane's having a go at him. I'm thinking, it's not a football, he's a singer. But
do you know what I seem to remember as well? I don't know if it's true. Like he's got Miss World with him.
Yeah, he did have Miss World with him. I don't know what her name was, but she was a good looking girl. Remember? And remember when they come to the pre-match.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
The pre-match, he brought her in. I think the manager wasn't too happy that he brought her in because I think everyone's attention went from the game to.
No wonder got beat 4-1.
Looking at Miss World, yeah. But no, he was always. I remember him being around quite a bit. I think the manager grew quite close to him at a certain point.
Yeah.
And but he joined in the box, and like you said, wasn't the best. But I remember the flip side of that was Sir Bobby. Sir Bobby joining the boxes, and even though he was probably at the time would have been 62 or something, I reckon, roughly early 60s. His touch and stuff was brilliant, and you're thinking a 60-odd-year-old man could still do that with elite footballers, and it's like wow. And I remember where even later, he must have been 68. I'd retired, and I used to play golf at May, and he was playing golf there, and he said to me, "Do you mind playing golf with us? We've got one shot." And I was thinking, God's sake, I've got to go and play golf now. Like, what's my life come to? Yeah, but I was 37 and I'm playing golf with like 65-year-olds, and I thought, I need to get a job. But I remember him hitting the ball on the first drive, and he outdrove me by about 30 yards.
I love his golf.
Yeah, he loved his golf, and God bless him.
He trained a few times, didn't he?
He trained a few times, and
nearly every European game.
Not many times he got knocked out.
Smacked on the
knocked out. I thought he was dead.
Was that Brian McClare?
Brian McClare, yeah. I remember the volley. Chucky's had a volley.
It was flush on the head.
Full-on volley from 5 yards, flushing his head and completely floored Sir Bobby Charlton, who survived the Munich air disaster. He survived all his stuff, but nearly got killed off a Brian McClare volley. And you can say it now because you know what Sir Bobby was like. He'd be laughing with us if he's still here. But no, I mean, to have people like Sir Bobby and Mick Hucknall doing one-was with us, when you look back on it, it's a weird dynamic.
It was just
surreal, really, isn't it? Surreal.
You look back, you train him.
And
Bobby Charlton.
And so I can always say I've had dinner or lunch with Miss World. So we're all right. That's biggest.
That was the only way that happened.
My biggest achievement in my life.
That's the only way that happened. So no, but going back to that, Chad, I might not have played anyway. You just don't know because we had 3 big games. If you think about it, you think about the Tottenham game, then the Newcastle game, and he changed his team all the time anyway, didn't he, for special games?
Yeah.
So look, it could have been. I might not have played. Roy would have definitely played. We know that. I might not have played. I might have been involved at some point, but
for me, it was like obviously Beck's come into midfield and played alongside me. It was something that was natural because we all grew up together. We all knew each other's game. But I was always used to playing with you or Roy or sometimes even both of you. For me, the midfield thing wasn't a big issue. Obviously, missing you and Keeney, any team in the world would miss that. But I had Bex alongside me and knew from when we was probably 13 all the way through to 30 odd. And I knew his game. I knew how he wanted to play. But I was also used to playing with you and Keeney. It was different, but without being such an issue. I think the bigger issue for me was the fact that Giggsy went to the right and Jesper to the left.
Yeah,
I think that was a strange, brave one in the end, and it worked out for the gaffer. But it was a really tough, weird one.
Yeah, he didn't really have much choice. He was playing. He'd have to play one of them out of position.
Yeah,
wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Do you remember when he named the team?
I don't actually remember the name of the team. Obviously, we did a bit of work, but I think I was always thinking that Ronnie Johnson was going to play in midfield with me, and maybe Maisie going to centre back.
Ronnie was brilliant in midfield.
Ronnie was brilliant in midfield, and he was like that holding one was
in
really
big
good.
European games against big players.
He was rash, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I always thought that was going to be, but then obviously, I'm pretty sure the night before when we trained, but I knew the team then because Bex was training next to me in some of the possession and build-up play we did. But yeah, I think when they named the team, you just go, right, okay, that's it. You crack on and play it. And I think the amount of good players we had on the bench over that season with the likes of Teddy and Ollie, it was like, or if they were playing it with Coley on the bench or York, you just knew that a matter of time that someone would come on.
I'm just trying to remember when he named the team. Sometimes for them big games, you do it the night before.
It was the night before, yeah.
Was it definitely the night
before on the training pitch? Because I remember thinking, oh, that's a weird one. I thought Ronnie was going to be here because I was always thinking about my own game. The build-up was I can get forward a lot more because I was always one sitting with you and Keeney. And I like to go forward. And
what was you like sleep-wise night before the game? Well, we shared a room for years.
Yeah, I mean, I used to always sleep, but I used to go to bed quite late and used to always go to bed early, and it just pissed me off that literally you're asleep and I've got to be quiet walking around, and then you're up at 7:30. But no, I slept all right that night. I think.
Do you know what you said? I remember about you. if there's
Careful what you're saying here,
no, yeah. If there was any single light in the room, like the green light where the TV's still on, or the red light, you had to cover it up, didn't you?
Yeah, I changed now. I've got lights everywhere in the house now. It's like bloody.
But even when you go to sleep?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. When I was younger, I used to get in my head. And
what was you like, day of a game?
Day of a game, I couldn't never sleep at day of a game.
No, I was lucky if I slept 5 minutes.
I'd toss and turn in the afternoon, and I know what I'd always do. I'd always, like, if you was getting up at, say the kickoff was at 8 and you'd pre-match was 5, you'd get up at 4:30. I'd always fall asleep at 4 o'clock or something daft like that, and then wake up groggy.
I always remember going down for pre-season though, and for pre-match, and seeing lads like they've just woke up.
I know, yeah.
Have you done that?
I know. Not for me, no. But I it was all right. It was like
they were the longest days in the world.
Especially when you go to the 2 days before. That's when I think your mind starts wondering. If you go the normal, I think we should have gone the day before. Because as soon as you go for 2 days, you've got 2 days of thinking about it. Then
make it normal as possible. And when you're abroad, the games are always an hour later.
Yes.
So it's 9 o'clock at night. Remember going to Greece? Sometimes you kick it off at 10 o'clock at night.
I know. And then
we normally go to bed at 10 o'clock.
I know. I'm in bed at 9.
But just starting to play a game, it was hard.
Yeah. I remember actually when you get on the bus. I remember getting on the bus, and that's when I thought, right, this is it now. It's probably the biggest game you've ever played in. Probably possibly the biggest game you're ever going to play in your career. You get on the bus, and I just looked at the lads, and it was really normal. You know, we always sit in the same seats. I'd always be sat next to you, and then you'd have Giggsy and Bex and Nev and all sat in the same little congregation. But it was just a normal bus journey until we got close back. Because I remember you saying it was far. I do remember now when you just said how far it was. Because when we approached to the ground, probably about a mile away, you started seeing the fans build up and build up and build up. And it's weird. I always, no matter where I'm in the world, I always spot someone from your school, don't you? Yeah. No matter where you go in the world, you always spot someone from your school and you think, how have I spotted you out of all these people? You get to the game and you go in the changing rooms. I remember the changing rooms. I remember the big bath at the back.
Massive big
bath at the back at the new campus.
They weren't very modern, were they? Very old-fashioned, weren't they?
I'd like to see what it's like now, to be fair, would you?
Well, it's not down now, isn't it?
Yeah, no, obviously not now, but when
what it was
go back and watch it and look at what it's like. I remember the steps down. So you used to come down the steps, didn't you?
Yeah.
And there was like
a cage in between.
It's like animals, like Gladiator, basically, and then steps up. It's the weirdest entrance to a football pitch I've ever been to. But it's
a special place.
It's unbelievable, and it will always be special, not just for us, but anyone who's played there. It's like such a iconic place to go to, and the way it's built is just a bowl, and it's just, you never get grounds like that no more ever.
Yeah, I just try to think you try and keep it as normal as possible, don't you? In the dressing room before, obviously I weren't involved, so it didn't really matter. I think, and there might be people playing 2-touch, or people getting massages, or people just doing I don't think anybody listened to music on their own.
No, never did that.
Did we have like a
we never
ghetto blast?
No, we didn't have any big speakers or anything. But I was thinking about it, if I was in the changing rooms and someone was playing Dead Light, it'd do my head in.
The manager wouldn't like it.
Yeah, no, he wouldn't put it. I just wouldn't put it. And if you want music, you should put your earphones on and have your own music, because not everyone likes each other's music.
Do you remember the suits as well?
They were the most uncomfortable suits ever then, weren't they?
They were like big flare.
Oh, they were awful. Still got it, have you?
Yeah. But I actually put it in a frame.
Did you?
Don't know where it is now. It's somewhere, yeah. No, they were nice. Did Beck sort that out? Was it Armani?
No, it was Versace. They were.
Versace?
Donatella Versace. I remember getting measured up. Obviously, it was like the holy grail for the club and certainly for the manager.
Yeah.
And I was in a zone of myself and what I've got to do on the pitch and da-da-da-da-da. Did you notice anything different with the manager? Because I wasn't particularly looking at him, or did he change with anything different in his thinking? I'm sure it wasn't, but did you notice anything different in the way he approached it? Or
no, I don't think so. I think it'd stand out a long way, wouldn't it, if he were doing something different. I think it's very not, as he did in probably every game. He'd just go around and have little chats.
Yeah.
When you knew it was a big game, and when you said Holy Grail there, they were the two words we heard. I don't know for how long before that game, and I think he was just very normal, very relaxed, try to keep his players relaxed.
Yeah.
He'd go around having little chats, wouldn't he, about
individual jobs.
Players.
I think he was a lot different in European games than he was in league games.
Yeah.
He became a lot more, over the years, a lot more in-depth in the technical side of it. When we played in league games, it was just, you're better than them, go and enjoy it, go and win the game.
Yeah.
In Europe, I think we tried that early on when we kept getting beat. Remember, we'd get beat at Juve all the time, we'd get beat in Turkey, we'd get beat in Deportivo.
Preparation.
The preparation changed, and I think that was the year we started
Especially in Europe, it seemed like you play your game on Saturday, your league game, and then the Sunday morning it was bang you were thinking about. Yeah. Whereas with league games, you didn't really, unless it was a big game against a proper team, you weren't that.
But even then, for me, it was like, it never felt like we were going to lose. Do you know what I mean? We play at Liverpool here, it was always tough games. We got Arsenal away, it was always a really tough game. But you look at your squad, and I'm sure the manager did as well, and I don't think he ever thought, I'm worried about it. Do you know what I mean? Whereas I think in Europe, the style of football, particularly for me and you and the midfielders, we always played against three, didn't we? And sometimes you're running around thinking, I can't get near the ball here. There's no way I'm getting it.
Well, it changed. And
they changed. And that's when sometimes it was better for me because I get a lot more options with you and three in midfield. Or you're sometimes playing on the left and really tight in, remember? Yeah. But no, I think in that, for me, with the gaffer, it was just like, it was normal. And I think, obviously, in his head, it wasn't. And his own mindset, I'm sure, was like, this is the big one. But for me, he never changed.
Right, so after all the preparation, you're ready to go out, I'm not ready to go out. What was the feeling then when you looked across that cage as we talked about?
I never felt nervous in football, ever. No. I never felt nervous.
See, I find that really weird. Man.
I know it's weird, but I never felt nervous in any football match I ever played. And I don't know if it's cockiness, I don't know if it's confidence, and I don't know if it was just something I enjoyed.
I don't think you're ever cocky. It's got to be confidence and just a mindset. I always felt, if I didn't feel nervous before a game, there's something wrong.
Yeah, but
when you're going out in front of 90,000 or 80,000 or whatever it is.
That game was the first time I felt sick in my stomach.
Right,
never felt sick before. And it was a weird feeling because I never had it before. I'd had it in different walks of life when your kids are born and you feel it. But in football, I'd never had it until that day. And I remember being at the bottom of the V, if you like, where you come down the steps and you go back up, and you stood there at the cage, and I felt sick, and it was a weird feeling. And then I realised that was the butterflies in the nerves. But as soon as you go on the pitch, we used to always have a thing because obviously our families used to travel around, didn't they, with us and watch the game. But it was a piss up for them, wasn't it? They had a great time.
Yeah, they had a great laugh.
We were all nervous playing football, and they were all out in all the hotels and bars, and my dad and everyone was out. And we used to have. I didn't play that game, but on all the other one, you get on the pitch, you'd line up, you'd look up to where you knew they were sat, give them a thumbs up, and it was game time. And I think that's...
How did we always find where our families were?
I don't know. We always looked for Big Nev, didn't we?
Neville.
Big Neville with his grey hair, And you knew my dad's can't too far from him.
Yeah, so they're all around in that area.
Yeah, so that's it. You get on the pitch, you give them a little wave or a thumbs up or whatever you did, nod or whatever, and then it was onto the game. And
the game you playing against Effenberg. Remember Effenberg, a good player.
I'm massive,
but he was a really good player. Yeah. And remember Jeremy's?
Jeremy's was a busy little fucker, wasn't he?
Yeah, he wasn't a good footballer, just a rat.
Yeah, quick, sharp. I think the game went by, it was just flowing. I don't really remember too much of the game. I remember we got doing. I remember was lucky at several occasions. He hit the bar, they hit the post.
You got the early goal.
Which I got blamed for that goal. A little bit. In the wall. So I was charging in the wall and I've watched it.
Who blamed you, Peter?
I think the gaffer did a little bit. I can't remember them. But years after he said, you should. Basically, when they charge you, I was charging. So the gap in there and charge. And the guy's come and stood in front of me. So I can't see. So I've gone round that way a little bit to see the line of the ball and charged it from outside him. The ball's gone between the goal, the wall and me. I mean, Peter should save it.
I was just going to say,
it's his side.
Looking at it from where we had a great view of it because me and Roy and Jim Ryan, we must have been about 20 rows behind the dugout, and you could actually see it from there. I thought, how's that going? It's just like pass in.
I think Pete stepped to the right a little bit, and then it's gone in there. But so I got the blame for that. But they get the early goal, and you're thinking, I always thought we'd score goals. We always did, always score goals. But that day it was awful. We couldn't create any chances. They missed. They could have been 4-0 up if we're honest. They could have
been a good team. They were a good team.
Amazing team. Typical German team, though, like very English, but with a cross of continental, if you like, a bit of flair, but solid, proper team.
Would you have done anything different with the team?
I would have played Giggs on the left.
Giggs on the left. What? Jesper on the right.
Jesper on the right. Yeah. I mean, it's easy in hindsight looking back on that. The manager got it right because the history proves it. But I just think.
That was
Ryan dribbling on that year. Ryan, when he was taking people on, the only Cafu I'd seen would stop him. The rest of them, no one else would stop him. What was you like watching in general, and particularly on that night? And obviously, what was Keeney like? Because obviously you were two iconic players for the club, and What was you like watching that game?
It was very relaxed, really. Well, I think when you're not playing, it takes that bit of nervousness away, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do. It's not in your hands. You can't get involved with it. But you're just hoping you find something from somewhere. And me and Roy, we were really quiet. And you sat in around fans as well, so it's quite difficult. We sat with Jim Ryan. Jim Ryan was a bit, he had a bit to say. Jim. He was always talking. He was always shouting. He was always doing something. But me and Ryan were very calm and relaxed and just looking from a back because, as I said, we both know we can't really affect anything.
Looking from afar, obviously, you're in the stand. Where did you see the game change? It's easy me on the pitch with everybody else saying it changed when Ryan went to the left or Bex went to the right, or did you see? Was it just the natural thing we did?
I don't remember anything changing the game. It felt it was hard to watch, wasn't it? Because they had so many chances as well, and it felt I felt sorry for people that were playing because it was honestly it was that difficult. It was we got outplayed a little bit, didn't we? I suppose for long periods of the game. And it wasn't really until you mentioned the last 2 or 3 minutes where you felt we could score a goal. And once we got one, we always felt we could get another. Right, Nick, half time, go in the dressing room. It's been a difficult first half. I was excited. I went in there. We were still in the stand. It was obviously difficult to get down to the dressing room. Was there any arguing? Was there any wondering what had gone wrong?
No, it was really calm. I was expecting us all to get a real bollocking, if I'm honest, because you know what the manager was like when it's going bad. He can come for certain players, and he didn't. He was very calm. He just basically said, this is what you got to do. A little bit of technical work about getting up the pitch, obviously, not conceding too many chances to them because they're going to score again. The one thing he did say that stuck in my mind is, I don't know if it's folklore, everyone has said it, but I remember it to this day. He basically said, don't come off that pitch not being able to touch that trophy because you'll regret it for the rest of your lives. If you don't get this game by the scruff of the neck, give yourself a real chance of winning it. He never said go and win it, but if you don't get a chance of winning the game, you're never going to touch that trophy. And
was the trophy at the side of the pitch?
Trophy's at the side of the pitch, remember? No, it's not when it come down. So basically, the trophy's on when you walk out, isn't it? And it gets moved and gets taken up, ready to get put on.
Just think it didn't have their ribbons.
Their ribbons on, yeah. So literally.
But to be fair, they're both red and white, weren't they? So.
No, I think they definitely had the ribbons on.
Really?
Yeah. But he didn't say, anything detailed like me get up against Effenberg and start giving.
Did he change anything at half time?
Didn't change anything at half time, which I thought was strange as well. He just basically said, just get into the game. Get into the game. He probably seen what we all see. Giggsy weren't dribbling at people. Bex weren't getting any crosses in because he was playing in midfield. Yeah. I weren't really getting up against the play where I should have been. Yorkie was not getting in positions where he could link up with Coley and put Coley through. I thought the whole team was too deep, but he didn't get into details. He just basically said, I think he pulled at the heartstrings a little bit, because I think he realised that we got to do him. And if he starts bollocking us, we could go under, or certain players could go under. Yeah. And he basically just said, like I said before, do not come off that football pitch without being able to touch that trophy because you'll never get a chance again, or you may never get a chance again.
Yeah. So the game, you go into the second half and it's still not going great, is it? I think they hit the bar, they hit the post.
They hit the post.
When was it changed? I seem to him, did he put Beckham and Giggsy back into the right positions? I think all of a sudden it started to happen.
Yeah, well, Bex went off to the right, Giggsy went onto the left, Yorkie came a bit deeper, but not into midfield, and then I was pretty much on my own in midfield.
Was Yorkie still on then?
Yorkie was still on as a number 10.
So did you take Coley off first?
Took Coley off. And
for Ollie or Teddy?
For Teddy first, wasn't it?
Teddy first.
Yeah, and then Ollie came on for who did Ollie come on for? Jesper. And Giggsy went to the left, Bex at right, me in midfield, pretty much on my own, Teddy and Ollie, and then Yorkie was just behind them. I think it changed then. It didn't change because of the forwards, even though they got the glory, because obviously got the goals, which is obviously important. But I think it changed when Bex went to right, put a few crosses in, and then Nev started overlapping a little bit. I think we just went gun-ho, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
And I think Giggsy was taking people on. It changed.
It changed. When they went back to their right positions, I suppose. Can you remember where you were when we scored the first goal?
Yeah, right outside the box. Just defending, making sure no one counter-attacks on us.
Wait, on the edge?
Yeah, on the edge of the box, yeah. He's 10 yards from the edge. We scored a goal. I remember sprinting to celebrate, and then my legs had gone. my legs are completely gone.
That would have been, the 93rd, 94th?
Yeah, I'm thinking, shit, we've got another half an hour here, because I'm thinking extra time. It's not going to we've got to get your legs going. As I'm jogging back to the halfway line, I turn back to see because the crowd was unbelievable. Remember the flares and I was just wanted to look at it. I look back, but I noticed all their players, they were just dead.
Yeah.
They were on the floor nearly crying. You're thinking we're gonna win this, but I didn't think. I know Myers would always say he knew we were going to score another goal. I thought it was extra time. This
that was something we never really did. Was celebrate equalisers, did we?
No.
But that was
different. That was different. You're thinking, and actually, I did think we'd win the game when we scored that goal. I know people will say that all the time. You thought we'd
win the game in normal time?
No, extra time. I thought we'd win the game extra time because they looked dead. And I remember
the heads were down.
Yeah,
they were smashing the floor.
They put that much into the game, and probably that much of a disappointment not getting the extra goal. You know what it's like when you 1-0 up and you're battering teams. You need that second goal, and they didn't get it. And then obviously the next goal goes in, and it's just like you're not in the world. It just the whole thing just stops, and you're just going, "Oh my God, what's just happened?" And then literally whistle goes there on the floor crying, and then it
was something we were known for. I don't know why. Well, I know why we were known for it because we did score loads of last minute equaliser, loads of last minute.
Yeah. Do you know why
winners,
I think with that?
But
I think we were definitely the fittest team I've ever been involved in them few years. And if you remember, we used to do pre-season in January, in July, which everyone does. And we used to do a mini pre-season in January. In fact, January, didn't we, as well? And I remember thinking, nightmares, because pre-season is the fucking worst thing you can do as a footballer. But then you're doing it again in January. And I think it stood us in good stead. And if you remember what the manager used to always say, it's not where you are before Christmas, it's after Christmas. Getting into January when you get on your runs and then it separates men from the boys.
It was always that March and April time you had to be ready for it.
And you look at the lads that were in our team that fit, weren't they? They were all fit and could run and could talk. They talk about the way people play football, but the physical side of it, the fitness side, they'd outrun them all.
You think of Becks and Yorkie, I've never seen athletes like it.
No, they were beasts, weren't they?
Right, so we scored a winning goal. I remember me, I was still sat with Roy, obviously. We probably had a few drinks the night before. It was a little bit.
You did, yeah.
And we weren't feeling, I was feeling all right. It was like being a fan.
Yeah.
Just being a United fan again, you're going absolutely ballistic. You couldn't believe what had happened, really. Well, that must have been the same for you on the pitch. Where would you win the second goal, winning?
Same again.
Same on the box, it was a corner.
Edge of the corner, edge of the box. I always was, most of the time. And then literally, you just, like you say,
did you have any chance in the game? Did you have any shots?
No.
No, nothing.
No. I had a bit of a, no, I didn't. I should have shot. I went into the box in the second half and I pulled the ball across. It went right across the 6-yard box. No, I got onto it and I should have maybe had a bit of a pop there. But when the goal goes in, going back to the end of the game, it was a weird feeling because it's just like, it was like the world had ended then. It was the last game of the season. It was the last game of the treble, if you like. Obviously it was. And it was all done in the last 3 minutes. Yeah. It was the most bizarre thing ever when you look back on it, you think, wasn't it? Mental how that happened, and you just think it was just meant to be.
What did you do after the final whistle? Remember the first thing you did?
I can't remember.
Did you speak to the Bayern players, or did you just celebrate?
No. Do you know what? When I look back,
they were all down on the floor.
When I look back now, I wish I'd have gone and picked a few of them up and like shook their hands. But it was that much.
I always remember Cafour.
Banging his crying his eyes out, wasn't it? I think I'll tell you what I did. I think it was right next to Beck's. I remember just grabbing Beck's and going like this. Oh my God! Just shaking and jumping, and it was just something you'd never experience. I'll never experience that again in life. That moment, that feeling. It's impossible to feel that again, ever.
Do you know? Memory I have as well when we actually scored. I don't know if it's the first. It might have been both goals. The full bench just running down to that corner. Amazing.
Yeah.
Phil and Jonathan Green, I think, was there as well. It was just madness, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
Albert,
crazy.
Did Albert? Was Albert with the manager?
I think Albert got picked a trophy up, didn't he? He was the first one to get it, not Pete.
Albert was man marking the manager.
I remember after the game, obviously everyone's going crazy. We were there for like an hour and a half on the pitch. It was so long, and we didn't get back to the hotel till 2:30 in the morning. But I remember I think it was a really good thing when you and Keeney came onto the pitch to lift the trophy, because I know you as a person would not have wanted to do that. I've been cringing, but I think
I'm glad you thought it was a good thing.
It was a good thing, because literally without you and Keeney, we wouldn't have been in the final. And to have you on the pitch there to get a trophy, I know it was cringy for you, but iconically looking back on it, it was the right thing to do. And aesthetically, when you see you with a trophy, I think it's an important picture. That. How do you feel about going on the pitch?
Yeah, we didn't want to do it.
No, I can tell.
Definitely, I think Roy would be the same way. I don't think any of us. Because when you look back, you think, did you win that Champions League? And don't really feel like that.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think you have to be involved in the final. You have to play a bit of at least be part of it somehow to actually like feel like you warranted the medal. But look, it was a nice gesture from the lads. Of course, it was, and it's something you expect from teammates. Of course you do, but it was slightly.
Do you remember the bus ride back? Because I don't remember the bus ride back at all.
I just remember waiting for ages.
Yeah.
It was going on. We just wanted a drink, didn't we?
Yeah, well, it was 2:30. I remember it being 2:30 when I went back in, because I remember going into the bus stops and there's all the press and fans are outside the Arts.
We was waiting
Hotel.
for the manager forever as well.
Yeah, the Arts Hotel. Yeah, the Arts Hotel. We was always waiting for the manager wherever in the world, weren't we? And we went back to the Arts Hotel, we go into the foyer and all of our families are there, and you have about 10 or 15 minutes with the family. Quick drink, throw your bags upstairs and you're back out, down to the party. I think from that minute we got into the party downstairs, I think that was a 2-day party bender, wasn't it?
I was going to say, I don't think I went to bed till the following
2 days later.
We got the flight from Manchester, didn't we? I was still walking around Barcelona at 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
The day after with my dad and his mate, because Claire couldn't come because she was pregnant with Aaron.
Yeah.
So she was like ready to give birth. So my dad and his mate came back, and we was in a bar just around the corner from the Arts Hotel. It was like on a bit of a beach, bit of a coast. We sat there at 7:30 in the morning. We're flying in 2 hours.
I didn't go to bed either. I was just down in the bar with my dad and all the lads, and I remember having my medal around my neck, and I think I had it around my neck for about 3 days. I must have stunk. It must have been stinking, because literally champagne on you and everything. We just didn't go to bed.
We didn't come back on Concorde, did we?
No, we come back on a big plane. All the families come back with us, didn't they? And then obviously we say bye to the families at Manchester Airport, and that's when the parade started. Now, for me, I've got a picture of that parade. It's like something that will stick in my memory forever. It's the only thing I'd ever really brag about, because we're Manchester lads.
Yeah,
and
amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah, when we turn on the Deansgate and you see the whole of Deansgate, which we used to go shopping down there, and we as kids would go walking. I still go down there now. The top of Deansgate, which is now Hilton Towers Hotel. From there, you can see right down Deansgate. That'll stay with me forever. That vision.
I've never seen anything like that.
It was just an ocean of people. I don't know how the bus got through it.
It's when you're looking up at the building, you see people hanging out of windows and lampposts. It was just unreal, wasn't it? And then we went into the arena, didn't we?
The arena was good, with a trophy parade.
Like a big reception.
Yeah.
This must be, what time do you reckon that is? Because not going to sleep for 36 hours there, at least.
I reckon we must have landed midday, example, 1 o'clock, and it's another 2 hours on a tour. And then you go into that.
I reckon it's more than 2 hours. It took forever.
Did it?
You couldn't move, could you?
Oh, I think we was all pissed, weren't we, by then? We was all definitely had a right few drinks by then.
Did anybody go out after it?
Yeah.
I remember what I did after. I didn't go out.
We went back.
I went to my nan and granddad's house.
Did you? That's very cute of you, isn't it? Very nice. That. I don't think that's true, to be fair.
No, it's where my kids' life.
Did you?
Because they wanted to see me medal.
Ah, nice.
So I spoke to my dad. My dad was mad than your mum. Nan and granddad want to see it. And they only lived 5 minutes from town. They lived in Miles Platin. So I went to their house for an hour.
Right. No, we after the parade.
Granddad had pictures with the medal.
Oh, that's good, yeah. Made me feel bad now. After the parade.
You just went on the
after
piss.
the parade, we went back to the Four Seasons.
Yeah, I did. No, I was
Four Seasons.
So I was virtually asleep on the back of the bus anyway for the parade.
I remember
seeing loads of it.
I remember sitting in that
with Roy.
Mulligan's. This is probably like say 2.5 days after. We still had a suit on. Still got the medal on. I'm literally doing that and thinking, please, someone just. The first person that leaves, that's a pass for everyone to go. And I remember the one last person you would expect to leave was David May. And David May went, I'm going. And he went, and literally within 3 minutes, everyone had gone, because we were just waiting for the first. No one could be the first one to leave, if you know what I mean.
To be fair, the manager's all right with stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. He likes to celebrate, didn't he?
You have to celebrate.
Yeah, you have to celebrate these. And he was brilliant. And then I remember we went home, and then naturally you go back and you get your shower and changed. And I remember I went to Iron Apple. So I don't know what.
You loved Iron Apple.
I used to love Iron Apple, yeah. So literally I went with about 10 mates. We used to go every year. But I didn't realise how big it was, but you don't realise how big it is, that achievement, until you go and do something you normally do, which is totally different. So we went to Iron Apple, and you get a bit of Miver there. It's like when we used to go out. Back in them days, we'd go anywhere we want, couldn't we?
Yeah.
We could go to town for a few drinks. Not like the lads now, they can't go anywhere. We'd go out, have a nice time. I went to do the normal thing, what I normally do. So I always go away with mates for a week, and I just go away with Shelley for a family holiday. So I went away thinking it's going to be normal. It was so different. And I think that's where probably our lives changed after that. It was different being a footballer for Man United in 96, 97, 98. But then after we won that, I think the whole, certain period of my life changed. You couldn't do the normal, going to pub with your dad or going to Manchester, because it definitely changed. And I got called back for my napper by the manager.
What?
Lynn Laffin rang me up on the beach, and in them days, you could only get into and out of on a Tuesday and a Thursday. It was like not like every day like it is now, like a changeover day, remember? And I was on the beach, my phone goes, and it's like, it was Lynn Laffin, and she went, "Nicky, the manager wants you." I went, "All right." I think, is he selling me or something? I was just doing what I normally did.
Yeah.
Go on holiday with your mates. And I remember he just went, "You got a flight booked on Thursday. Get yourself home and get yourself straight back here." And I've done nothing any different than I normally do.
Was you back late for training though?
No.
Right. So what was it then?
Apparently, there was press following all the lads around on holidays, and I'd gone doing the normal thing, but doing nothing wrong other than getting drunk and having a good time. But I think because of what happened, the achievement changed everyone's outlook on it. And I remember I went to see him there, and I think a couple of the other lads did as well. And then basically, I got told to go to America where no one knows you. So I went home, booked a holiday with Shelley, and I went to America. But I do think after that 99 final, I'm pretty sure you're the same. Life changed a little bit. You couldn't do what you normally did. Or you could, but there was a lot more attention on you.
Yeah, I don't really remember that much. Can you remember seeing the manager after the game?
Yeah, I remember him having pictures with us at a table. And it's the first and only time.
I don't remember that.
The first and only time I've ever seen a manager let himself go.
Was there really?
Ever.
What, drinking? Dancing?
Well, doing all that, putting out with a drink and wine, still his red wine.
Is that still at the game or at the hotel?
No, that was at the hotel.
At the hotel.
The hotel. That's the only time I've ever seen him let it go. Just like literally, that's it.
I don't remember.